Thank you for joining, everybody. And thank you, John and Matt, for being here. We've got some exciting things to talk about with Microsoft. But before we get started, we've got, as we normally do, a pretty neat giveaway. We're going to give away a $1,000 experience with CBTS and you if you win. And the way you win is submit the form. And if you ask a question, your form gets entered 5 times. And that can be for a dinner, a happy hour, a sporting event with your team and CBTS, customer.
And the purpose really is to either further training with your team.
That's right. It's an investment into
event. Absolutely.
Investment into our partners. But today's session is, well, first of all, I can't believe it's Q3 already. But one that's kind of near and dear to our hearts because it's been such an explosive area is Microsoft. And traditionally, or I'd say in the last year, when partners hear Microsoft in the channel and their customers, they think kind of the first muscle memory they think of is, okay, this is voice, it's Teams, it's Operator Connect, it's Direct Route, I got to think voice. Well, our partners, customers are really seeing Microsoft in a lot of different facets, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Oh yeah, especially with like some of the changes with the EAs and stuff, and Microsoft moving away from it. RTAs are hearing Microsoft way more now than ever before.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to go through is think beyond voice when you hear Microsoft in your customer, and then think CBTS to connect that dot.
Absolutely. And we'll kind of, you see kind of the agenda today, and I think you already said that, really kind of show you what we're learning in the field, how the word Microsoft is opening up so many different opportunities. In this next slide here, Rob, you kind of actually came up with this. The idea that how do our customers view Microsoft? And I thought you put it very well here, that they kind of view it in 4 different areas, if you would. You mentioned voice already, right? Then they think about their kind of licensing and what they're doing in the cloud side, right?
In Azure.
Azure, et cetera, or licensing for desktop servers. Security, Microsoft continues to expand its security portfolio, and what's that mean in the Microsoft world? What's it mean to security providers like ourselves? And then this whole move to AI, agentic AI, and Copilot. And I thought that was a great way to kind of take a look at that.
Yeah, those are the big categories that obviously Microsoft plays in that we can help the partners' customers in.
And I think that's where we're trying to get home here today with this messaging, is that there's a variety of different ways to enter into that Microsoft relationship, and then where it can go from there, all sorts of different areas, whether it's network, whether it's cloud work, whether it's security work, et cetera. Now, from our perspective, too, just so you guys in the partner world out there know, we have got deep Microsoft experience. We are a Microsoft CSP. John, talk a little bit, because you do a lot of our kind of most complex, forward-facing things in this area. Talk a little bit about our accreditation, our capabilities.
Yeah, so you talk about CSP. So we're a cloud solutions provider. What that enables us to do is sell that licensing that you were talking about. And there's always been a lot of confusion and ambiguity in what that means. There's LSPs and there's CSPs, and some people go direct to Microsoft. And what's changed significantly is Microsoft has started to back off and move away from the EA model, the enterprise agreement model, which was, I think in the past, like anything over 2,000 users,
something like that,
you had to go that route. Now it's north of 10,000 still aren't in that EA space, and they're backing away even further. And so the CSP is a very flexible buying model, allows us to true up every 12 months versus an EA might have been 3 or 5 years. So as businesses go through ups, they go through downs, we can be there to help right size that environment. When you talk about the expertise or the specialty, so you see kind of that specialist badge there on the screen. When we look at modern work, so that's Teams, that's calling, MSDR, Direct Route, Operator Connect. The security space, so that's Sentinel, which we'll talk about, that's Defender, it's Purview, and then the infrastructure side, Azure, that you talked about. CBTS earning that specialist badge across 3 different disciplines is no small feat. I mean, you might run into somebody that's got 1, maybe 2. It's very rare to find 3. And then we also are accredited on Copilot Fast Start. So the ability to go do Copilot workshops that are funded by Microsoft, helping customers understand not only use cases for Copilot to increase adoption, but also how to do that securely, so that way they don't run into getting roadblocked by their internal security organization. So it's a huge investment that we've made to be able to deliver the full stack of Microsoft inside of our customers.
Talk a little bit too. You mentioned licensing, the whole EA thing. More and more people are moving away from EA. And isn't part of it also to support? don't we offer a level of support that they actually can't even get when they pay for a Premier support from Microsoft?
That's right. So we are what's called a tier 1 direct CSP. And there's some tier 2 CSPs that are selling under another CSP, and there's some weirdness to be able to sell the license. What we're able to do is we deliver our own first call of support, and we offer a 24-hour SLA. And for those of you in the managed service world, you may go, whoa, 24 hours.
24, yeah.
To put it in perspective, Microsoft Premier support has no SLA, and they average 48 hours as their response time. So we are guaranteeing within 24 hours of a ticket coming in, we're picking that up, we're working that, and our cost is significantly lower. So when you look at a customer that they say, we have an enterprise agreement and it's coming due, or we're already on a CSP, but we buy Microsoft Premier support, you immediately have an opportunity to talk to your customer about having a tier 1 direct CSP that includes a better level of support with their licensing. It can not only be a cost savings, but also solve that headache of support.
Yep, absolutely. This then for us as well has led us into more and more work on the cloud side. In particular, we've got a big opportunity that you closed, and we were like, I think, almost done with it basically, that first started out as a licensing opportunity, like $40,000 worth of licensing, that moved into like $80,000 worth of Azure consumption, that moved into AWS and Azure management, that it moved into even like $1 million worth of PS work, which, by the way, we pay about 15% commissions on PS work now. But talk about our cloud expertise, because I've heard you meet with customers in the past here and talk about how even people who've had long-standing, mature Azure environments are reevaluating those and moving to some of these new technologies around landing zones and infrastructure as code. So talk a little bit about kind of what we do in this cloud world too.
Yeah, so I kind of consider it the new frontier of cloud. If you think about in the channel, we got colo, right? People move to data centers, and that's a world we know pretty well. And you move there, you don't stay there for 10 years, right? New advancements in switches and in data center design. Maybe you go to a new colo, or increase power into the space because you have bigger compute and more cores and all of this stuff. If you take that same concept of you never would have just moved to a data center 10 years ago and set it and forget it, that's really what happened with cloud. People moved to Azure, and it became too kludgy. It became I didn't have tagging. My governance wasn't in place. People could spin up, any department could go and spin up a server. My costs were getting out of control. And it was kind of hard to put the genie back in the bottle. And so we've seen what was originally FinOps started as come in and see if I'm oversubscribed to licensing.
Yep.
There's really, Microsoft has new technologies. They have new offerings every day that they come out with. They also have new buying models or licensing like Azure Arc, things that are less contractual, kind of spin up, spin down, pay as you use. And so we've seen a lot of customers come to us and say, don't worry about how we do it today. Could we cost optimize? Could we build we're already on Microsoft. Could we build a new Microsoft environment that is more production optimized, cost optimized, governance optimized, and then migrate those
future-proofed in general.
That's right. And then future-proof, and then move my workloads over to that and get out of my old environment. And so it can start with something like a CSP, where we're selling new licensing, we're selling better licensing, we're selling more optimized licensing. And then the build, we use something, we built an intellectual property, and we call it Cloud Rapid Deploy. And it's not that we sell Rapid Deploy, it's that when we sell those PS services to help spin it up, our time to value, if we tell a customer, by building this environment better, you're going to save 30%, but it takes us 2 years to get that built out, that's a long time to get to realize that savings. What we did with CBTS Cloud Rapid Deploy, we have this environment stood up in under 5 days. That's through a lot of automation, a lot of infrastructure as code, some custom proprietary things. But then we obviously migrate the workloads. But we have 3 global Fortune 100 customers right now that we're doing work on utilizing this Cloud Rapid Deploy. So for organizations out there that are on a multi-cloud journey, or also right now we're starting to see, I want to repatriate, I want to move some workloads back out of the cloud. What does that mean for my current environment? Everything from licensing to the new build to the migration to then managing it after we move it over. Imagine you save 30% and what if you guys just took over management and now my cost stays the same and I don't have any kind of headache. So we're really, I would say,
backup and DR work, patching on those servers,
backing up even M365. We talk to a lot of customers. We say, we already do DR as a service. We already do backup as a service. What about your M365 environment? And then you kind of get
We're seeing more and more of that,
unsure, oh, I don't know. And so what I kind of talk to customers and to our TAs about is the question was, do you have a cloud strategy? Are you multi-cloud? Are you cloud first? We're in a new frontier of we're really helping people mature in the cloud. I think a lot of people got there, and now we're helping them understand, are you there the right way?
Yeah. It goes back to this thing that we started this conversation is there is a variety of different ways to enter into a customer with Microsoft. And so basically our partners out there, if you hear a customer say they have Microsoft challenges of almost any kind, we can come in and start to help solve those problems. And once we land, expand then with a variety of services. And those services, whether they're professional services to help do assessments or deployment, where they're managed services on top. So talk a little bit about the professional services side too, because we're doing more and more PS work in the channel. I mentioned that we're now paying 15%, up to 15% on that PS work. So even though it's one time, it can be very valuable to both the partner monetarily, but also into opening and expanding opportunities too. So talk a little bit about the professional services we've been doing.
Yeah, so some of the stuff that we track, we call it drag. When we do professional services as an organization, we track additional business that comes behind that within 6 months. So already to date, it is end of Q3, which is crazy, but I think we're at about $11 million in managed services GP that's been dragged through.
I did not know that.
From ProServe that we've done this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
I had no
it's
idea.
and that's GP, that's not even revenue. Very profitable work. Once you're able to go and ask a customer, hey, sign a 3-year term. We don't really know CBTS yet, but trust me, they're good. There's a barrier to entry. When we get the opportunity, look, there is no commitment. It's a one-time outcome that they're buying. They want to build a new landing zone or migrate an Azure AD for us because we're separating domains, or we've acquired a company. How do we bring them into our environment? These are outcome-based projects. I want to buy an outcome from CBTS. It's a one-time engagement. It's a fixed fee or time and materials. What happens is the customer goes, wow, they delivered the outcome. They did what they said they were going to do. They left me in a really good spot. And now it makes it so much easier to say,
to move forward with managed services.
Right. What if we gave us more, or what if we took it off your plate?
I had this example yesterday. So a 10,000 employee architectural firm on the East Coast came to us and wanted some help on the PS side with Palo. They wanted help with about 100 hours of developing more SOAR playbooks for Palo.
Yeah, on XOR. Yeah, XIM, XOR playbooks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got that work done. Lo and behold, we get a phone call from a couple of weeks ago and says, okay, we those same 10,000 employees are already on Palo Prisma today, but we would like somebody to come in and manage that and manage about 5 different customer premise firewalls as well. We wouldn't have had that opportunity if we didn't help them solve that problem initially with professional services.
It's taking a quote unquote risk, right, or an unknown of here's 100 hours for CBTS. It's a lot different than here's 36 months of committed spend for 10,000 users of managed firewall, but we built that credibility in our Palo capabilities on the 100 hours.
One more thing before we leave this too. We're also a big AWS shop as well. So we've got a lot of cross-functional teams and capabilities between both Azure and AWS.
That's why we call it Cloud Rapid Deploy, because it works. We built the same on AWS as well. And so whether it's multi-cloud strategy, private cloud, that we have our own cloud, our infrastructure as a service, Microsoft AWS, private cloud, multi-tenancy, all of that, think CBTS.
Yep. All right, so let's talk a little bit about security, right?
I had a quick question that came in.
Sure, absolutely.
It says, do you help clients implement secure AI, Copilot?
We will probably get to that after this next slide.
That's a great lead in.
Yeah. Let's leave that out, but the answer is yes, but we're going to talk about that.
I do have one more if you like it. From Joseph out there. We have clients with legacy Teams phones under our contracts and want to move them to your or other Teams platforms. How is this process, and what will we get paid, if anything?
That will be kind of in the 2 or 3 slides to come.
Yeah, no, but the answer to the question is we're a full CLEC. We support Teams completely, both Operator Connect and Direct Route. Working with customers who've been on a previous, Teams infrastructure with another carrier and moving them to our next generation SIP network. That's work we do all the time.
No problem.
We pay full commission on it, just like we would any other UCaaS seat. We'd love to have that opportunity.
That's right. So it's a couple of click boxes inside a Teams admin center.
Yeah.
The customer elects us as a CSP. We add a couple of fully qualified domain names routing to our SBC. We put some test numbers in. We test those, and then we start porting like you would any other, on-prem losing SIP provider to new, and then from our standpoint, it's new business for us.
Maybe we wrap the normal project management
That's right.
around. We do the normal discovery. What are they happy or unhappy with call flows today? So it's somewhat of a re-engagement as well with the customer to make sure, are their calls delivering properly? Are they getting to customers and clients what they need to do, et cetera? We can modify those things and build a brand new system, but migrate everything over they've got. Yep. Okay, security. Even though people would love to move to a common platform for all their security tools, that's not quite possible today. They still have a lot of tools out there. Microsoft is still a big player out there. Microsoft continues to add more and more security tools. We, though, since CBTS, we've been delivering SOC as a service for quite some time, but we really only announced it in the channel, I'll call it maybe 3 years ago, something like that. One of the keys to our ability in delivering SOC services and MDR services in the channel is that we don't have to resell all the parts and pieces. We can take somebody's heterogeneous environment, part of it might be CrowdStrike, part of it might be Fortinet, part of it might be Microsoft, and pull that together into kind of one managed security fabric. Again, John, I know you're out in front of a lot of customers, particularly with our bigger SOC and security offerings. Talk a little bit about, our SOC in general and really how we can bring disparate tool sets together to one kind of common solution for a customer.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, with CBTS, we had 75 different logos in our security environment, and we built a platformization story. And we said most of it's on Palo and Microsoft.
Today for us, we eat Palo a lot in our environment. That's right.
And Microsoft as well. And I think we got down to 32 logos.
Okay.
Right. There is always going to be this world of best of breed. And even if you are great at getting down to a smaller amount of logos, it's going to be a 3 to 5 year journey when licenses expire and things like that. And so what we've done, partnering with Microsoft, we utilize Sentinel as the SIM tool. So we have over 700 different platforms that have native API integration. If you have a platform that doesn't have API integration, we can take syslog from anything, point it to us. And what's great too, for those customers who are already on Microsoft, we can stand up, a Sentinel environment in their Azure world. So they're using their already committed Azure spend for things like storage, setting their policies for what's hot, cold, or warm storage, how long they want to keep those logs. And then we utilize Microsoft Lighthouse, where we're just taking the needed metadata to run that security environment. Other customers say, we don't have that. Great, we'll stand it all up. We have a CBTS Azure environment. We can run everything out of ours. That, I think, for us, what Microsoft has enabled us to do is whatever you have, we can take logs from it. If you want it to live in your environment, great. And you want to control all the data, totally fine. If you want it on our side, we'll take that on and be an easy button for you. We also can provide all those licenses. So it's about setting that roadmap. Today, I'm on Sentinel-1 for my EDR. Great. We'll take those logs. We'll have an API integration. But over time, we'd probably want to talk to you about Palo Cortex or Microsoft Defender. Both we can bring the licensing as a consumable model in the channel. So think of the same way you
commissionable too,
correct.
By the way.
So the same way you sell UCaaS, you can sell our XDR as a service and include that Palo Cortex license or include that Microsoft Defender license, fully managed, turn the whole thing into an OpEx, fully commissionable. But day one, they've got a year left on their Sentinel-1. Totally fine. We can get our SOC in place today.
Well, the customer that I mentioned they were talking to that's got 10,000 users on Palo Prisma and wants us to help manage that environment. They've got about 1,500 users on Palo Cortex for their EDR, and the rest of them are all on Microsoft Defender. To us, that's fine. We still can overlay a SOC service and do that. So,
hey, a question came in. Do you work with small to mid-size organizations?
Great question.
What kind of size are we talking about here, guys?
The traditional size that we're looking for these type of services, really all of them from CBTS are 500 employees and up. So those are the kind of on the lower end. Go to your channel manager. They can help you vet any customer opportunity that you have.
We're known for more complex environments, typically 500 employees and above. Have we had partners come and say, here's a 300-person firm that's got $20,000 worth a month of managed services that they need help with across a variety of different portfolios? We're going to help that customer.
We can help
but
them.
we don't fit with somebody who's a 50-person firm, a 100-person firm. It's just not the great fit for us. So.
Yep.
Okay, so now we come to this AI question, right? This is exploding in the channel. AI, whether we're talking about somebody looking at Microsoft Copilot, whether somebody wants to build custom agentic AI tools on on-premise, large language models or small language models, right? Whether we're talking AI ops and how AI is helping, network solutions like on the Juniper side or on the CCAS side, change kind of people's workflows, et cetera. This, though, has been a really growing area for us. The ability to come in and run an AI accelerator workshop. So again, John, talk your experience out there and what you've been seeing in the field with some of our customers wanting to take advantage of this opportunity from us.
Yeah. In short, I read a stat the other day that said 95% of all AI projects fail. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got this pressure to get to AI. I've got to have AI. Some of it's not even real AI, but you call it AI. That's the whole point of this accelerator workshop. It's trying to, when Microsoft rolled out Copilot and it was $30 a month, everybody ran out and said, oh, I need it. And then somebody looked at the bill and said, why are we paying for it?
Why are we doing this? That's right.
And so a lot of this Microsoft will fund, and CBTS will come in. We help identify. This isn't about meeting with the IT team. This is about meeting with the legal team and the sales team and the marketing team and the real estate team and understanding how can we really drive value. And so when I talk to customers, we don't talk about $30 a month for Copilot. We think about the concept of if any of your employees came to you and asked for a 20 cents an hour raise, any of your employees, you're going to give it to them because it's nominal and the cost to try to hire somebody, it's 20 cents an hour. Sure, here's the raise. And that's really what Copilot is. And so we need to help understand what is that return on investment? Or how do I make Matt Douglas an even better whiteboard? Now, I don't think we can AI Matt Douglas in the channel at the whiteboard. There's not an AI Picasso yet.
We can try.
That is, ultimately what the point of these workshops is, helping them understand that their legal department can do case law research better, faster, more accurately with this tool. It's helping understand that sales can generate X amount of dollars in more revenue. It's helping them understand that. The next phase is making sure we're licensed properly, because there's, M365 premiums versus Copilot, and are we buying the right thing? And then there's the security aspect of it, which is, we did one where we went in and a customer said, I'm already all set. And we literally searched in their Copilot, right? So they had their own private Copilot LLM, and they had an open position posted. And we said, what does this position pay? And it said, based on these real names of people in the same job role, this is what they make.
Yep.
That's a really big
kind of an
problem.
issue. That's right.
And so that's really what these workshops are about. And then the hope is through that, we're not only uncovering this, you'd be amazed as we meet with business leaders. That's the dream, right? As a sales rep, we always say, how do you get wider? How do you talk to more people? This does it for you. This brings in influencers, champions, decision makers from all these parts of the business. And when we come away with this, Microsoft is paying us because it's increasing adoption of Copilot. We're coming out of this, whether it's a TA, whether it's an account executive, and handing them 4 or 5 other opportunities to pursue that we've uncovered through the workshop.
This is a free one-day workshop we offer.
Microsoft funds this. CBTS has specific accreditation we had to go and get. And customers get a ton of value out of it. Our TAs get a ton of value out of it. And we at CBTS get a ton of value out of it.
Now, as well, talk about the fact a lot of people, I think, in the channel don't know that we've got some, hundreds of developers on our staff writing applications, and those applications are now moving in agentic AI applications and large language models, even run on a customer premise. So talk a little bit about some of the custom work we can do even outside of Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah, we have always been a Microsoft shop, from .NET development into low code, no code in the Power Stack. And we've started now building agentic AI as a service. We utilize Microsoft Fabric as the foundation behind the scenes to that. We take these team of developers, and it's really about what are the outcomes that you're looking for. So we're working with, right now in the discovery phase, we are working with a NFL team really around the concept of an agentic AI virtual game day usher, right? So you can walk in and scan your ticket and get step-by-step directions, or if you want to interact with, what the lineup is today, or where the closest place to get this type of beverages. And it's really just an LLM behind the scenes loading all of this data in, but creating a better, game day experience for fans. That's a great example of agentic AI. It's got to get housed somewhere. That data's got to get secured. You can't have that data get stale. And so it's creating kind of a centralized trust. I met with a Fortune 500 company, and they had 25 different unique agentic AI projects going on. None were more than 40% complete, and This one was working with EY. This one was with Accenture. This one was with McKinsey. I mean, you name it. Everybody was going out and trying to self-solve, and there was no center of excellence over the top of it, providing a governing framework or governing infrastructure. And that's part of why we see all these AI projects fail. One is people take them on without understanding the real benefits and use cases. We talked about our workshop. They take them on without understanding not only the budget up front, but what is the real ROI on the backside. Yeah. And then the third is they start to take on these projects without a common governance. And so somewhere along the way, there's nobody that owns updating the data, or it gets shut down by internal security and all of those different things. That's where CBTS can come in.
We can provide those PS resources, even that ongoing management to help them to manage these projects, et cetera.
We are having a ton of success building AI center of excellence. So it's utilizing our PS organization with dedicated bodies to an organization to be kind of an AI center of excellence as a service.
Lance, I think we had a question on this. Did we cover that?
I get a question from Frank. Does CBTS partner with other VARs as a third-party provider?
Do we partner with other VARs? Is it? We get business through the channel. So the TSD will bring us business. TSDs will bring us business because they have VARs as their partners. And so those VARs will come through the TSDs will come to us for help. A lot of times on the voice side, could be on the AI or programming side. So anything coming through a TSD, we want to take a look at.
Yeah, if that whoever issued that question wants to work with their channel manager, happy to kind of run down what's on their mind.
We love new business.
Let's get to voice. We only have about 3.5 minutes left.
Thank you. Okay, this is a big deal, and we'll finish up with this. We've been a CLEC and a phone company for 20 years, 20 plus, something like that. One of the things that we saw out there is that we continue to deliver voice is that we wanted to build a universal SIP network, basically a next generation network that would allow us to deliver a wide variety of services. So it starts from us connecting to anything we can on the left-hand side of this, if you would, basically being able to deliver local, long distance, 911, fax services, you name it, all across the United States and Canada. Basically, then we take that and expand it out into connecting to a number of UCaaS platforms, the two big ones being Cisco WebEx calling and Microsoft Teams. Natively.
Yep.
So what you see, the big blue connections, those are things we pay big commissions on. Now, we're also connected into Identity Hub for spam work. We're connected to Newstar for caller ID, AWS for some custom IVR, chat, clerk chat for complicated SMS.
Really to round out the feature sets.
Those feature sets, exactly. Then so UCaaS we've got covered with the two major players out there. Then we come in on the CCaaS side. Some of you in the channel have seen us now touting the abilities of WebEx Contact Center. WebEx Contact Center 2.0 is now a world-class platform that competes with the 5.9s, Talk to Us, Nice in Contacts of the world. We do, though, happen to have connections into 5.9, a multi-tenant connection that we can connect into them. We've got our own CCaaS product called CX Sync. So again, this ability to build custom dial plans across a variety of solutions, even if it's not our solution. Like we've got a multi-tenant into Genesys, a multi-tenant into Twilio, that we can connect and deliver a dial plan or disaster recovery, even if we're not selling those Genesys services, right? And then the ability to connect to any carrier, really, any third party, or bring big SIP trunking into that customer as we come and do a multi-year or a year big project of moving them to one of these solutions.
And John, you just got back from an opportunity, a hospital system where it used this same toolkit.
The coolest part about that engagement, and so, I mean, it's about 10,000 seats, another 6,000 analog lines. They're actually partnering direct with a couple of different CCaaS providers. And in those CCaaS providers' presentations, we weren't in the room. We have nothing to do with it. They touted to the customer that they connect into CBTS. They were leading with, hey, here's one of the really cool things. We are a CBTS connected partner. And we pay commission on that. So let's say that customer goes with 5.9. One, we're going to direct.
Yeah.
Through a TA. We're going to save the customer money over the 5.9 calling plan.
Yep. Same thing on Genesys.
We're also going to pay commission to the TA for the SIP trunking pass that we're selling them. So we've got an opportunity, even when you sell direct with 5.9 or direct with Genesys in the channel.
And you got a Teams opportunity or Teams and mix between Teams and WebEx. We can combine all those together.
Yep. And commission on the calling aspect of it.
Yep.
But I thought that was really cool when the TA said, hey, those CCaaS providers were in the room and they
we were in there on the UCAS and the team
Yeah.
side and said, hey, one of the advantages is we've
Yes.
got a multi-tenant connection to CBTS and we like working with
Yes,
them.
they were touting us as one of their selling points. I thought that was really cool.
Well, again, the highlight of this is think Microsoft, where when your customer talks Microsoft, think CBTS, because we can help whether it's voice, security, AI, or cloud.
It's opening up our biggest opportunities in the last 18 months is somebody just simply saying, I need Microsoft help. And it's opened up some of our largest opportunities. So absolutely.
Well, thank you to all of our partners, TSDs and TAs. We had a record. We're having a record year this year again, and it can't be done without you. So thank you very much. We've got a lot of events, and we're traveling
It's going to be a busy next couple of months.
around the next couple months,
I'm
and
flying
we
to Salt
can't
Lake
wait to
City
see
tonight.
you.
That's right.
Yeah, Matt's getting on a plane tonight. So we will see all of you soon, and contact your channel managers if you have specific questions or follow-up.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everybody.
Appreciate it.